on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but they see where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in there. Damn man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Looking for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have them yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stats, yo. Everybody wanna do the same thing. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah. I'm going mainstream. Damn. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Woo. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Just saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stats, yo. Everybody wanna do the same thing. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only
Hmm. Jeez, this thing's so thick. Ooh. That is different. Oof. No bueno on those. Not. I'm trying to figure out how to get this purple to work, chairperson. And it's not quite right. It's like it's very. It looks thick right here. Oh, it looks thick right here, but it is very thin when it spreads. Well, I still got to finish up the banners a little bit. I'm not sure what to put on it though, but I think I'm going to varnish it at least because I'm mostly done with it anyway. And finish up Tigurius' banner, and then figure out about those two banners. But I'm starting to transition into a Tau. Trying to see if matte medium works, or maybe with a flow-aid, the purple works great, but matte medium doesn't really make it flowy. So, and yeah, it doesn't make it thin though. It doesn't seem like it anyway. Just testing out purple so I can let it dry. Then I'll get back to a little bit of that. So this one looks, wow, that looks good. It is thick. It's nice. It has coverage. For that one, even though these two right here, these two are the same, seems like, but this one has that nice coverage. Although I am definitely not getting the edge highlighting effect. So maybe more, thin it down a bit more. So let's see what happens when we do. So I'm trying to experiment with the purple. It's not the same as the blue for some odd reason. Yeah, so check it out. Like if I grab this purple right here, I paint it, it's a little bit flowy and it's not as thick. Especially with this one, where it just kind of just flows through. Actually, it's looking a little bit better, but it's not like laying down thick enough. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing per se. But I'm trying to get it similar to this guy. So let me show you him real quick. I got so much crap on where I dry my paintbrush, all these tools. So he doesn't look too bad actually. He looks a little bit better than the Riptide. He's not as dark, even though he has some dark spots on him. Actually, I probably should paint this little diamond right there and right there yellow, make it stick out a little bit more. So yeah, it's not bad looking. So I'm trying to get like where you can see how this guy looks like he has edge highlighting. Again, no edge highlighting, but it looks like there's edge highlighting there. Trying to get something similar to that, I think. Just purple isn't cooperating. Depends on how you want it. Exactly. Oh yeah, I forgot. I meant to look at the color purple. Let me see. So the color purple only has one, PV23. The blue only has one. Right there, PV29. So it's only one pigment on here. I figured maybe the purple might have more pigment, so it doesn't really blend well. But it doesn't look like it at all. It's a single pigment, much like the blue. So I'm wondering why I'm struggling with... Ooh. Very liquidy. I think that's just because I probably didn't dry this very much. Let me re-rinse this and try to dry it a little bit better. Okay. That looks a bit better, but it's still... Yeah, I'm not sure. I've struggled painting my towel purple until I got to that, and that was pretty good. I think I was kind of laying on kind of thick. So it really gave like a nice, like dark purple color, and I really did like it. And it might just be something I have to do, as opposed to trying to be like the Ultramarines color, where it did have some edge highlighting, or it looks like edge highlighting. maybe the towel won't have that. I mean, it does kind of have a little bit of it, and I think if I, as a matter of fact, I think if I varnish it, it probably will stick out. These are for the ghost kill, right? No, the ghost kill is all done. It's just that I brought it out here because I need to varnish it. So let me. These are just. This is for the Riptide. I think this is for the ghost kill, but somehow the magnets it's not as strong as I'd hope. So they're kind of just like flimsy. I don't know why that is the case. I think these are the guns for it. It's just really not strong. So I definitely need to fix that. Whoopsie. And then there's the Riptide, so he looks very dark. I think it's because maybe the varnish again, even though he did look dark prior. Like, these are the two exact same purple, by the way, but this looks like a lighter purple. This looks like a darker purple. And obviously oh my god. I magnetized the gun. 2 magnets. I guess the varnish kind of got in there and kind of hardened it. So, boop. So that's really strong because there's 2 magnets attached to it. I think the same with this one too. So I made it where it's kind of interchangeable, but this one's done for him. I'm gonna varnish this guy. So look at how he looks now. Oh really? Huh. And in my screen, it looks this one right here, the Riptide, looks a little bit darker purple, and this one looks a little bit more. I don't know what to say. It's purple, but it's lighter. But let me varnish him and see what it turns out. And mind you, so I actually need to probably do this with an ultramarine color. So this is gloss varnish right here, and this is matte varnish. So if you see you can see in the shoulder pad it's highly reflective there. And kind of, honestly, everything kind of looks reflective on him. But this is matte varnish, this guy right here. This guy's gloss varnish. Which is kind of crazy. So this is the matte varnish that I use, Liquitex. Apparently Liquitex sells ultra matte varnish. I'm like, where was that in the first place? I would have bought that instead. But anyways, let's go ahead and where is it? I put it at? Here we go. So here's the gloss varnish from Liquitex, quote unquote professional. Nothing but the pros over here, guys. Alright. It doesn't seem. Like I said, I need to varnish the blue and compare it with this. I have a feeling like the matte. It seems like the matte varnish seems to be more gloss than the gloss varnish. I'm trying to find my paintbrush. Okay. So this already has a varnish on it, and it's a true matte varnish. It's a different brand varnish. I have it still, but the thing I don't like about it that it tends to bubble a little bit much when I paint it on the model. And whenever it dries with the bubble, it's not very good. You can see the bubble. It dries, how do I say, as is. So if you see any kind of imperfections, it will dry like that. Where this one, if there's bubbles, it will dry like that, but there's some imperfections that it will dry fine. This has a little bit more forgiving in terms of drying. That's what I like about this particular varnish, is that it's a little bit more forgiving. So if there's like, you put, like it builds up a little bit too much in that area, you can see that little white right there, it won't show necessarily on whenever it dries up. Whereas the other one will. But if you put way too much, no matter what varnish you use, I do believe it will show, like if it's like really stacked in there. Hey, what's up, Troy? Worst case hit with GW technical medium, even a gloss is dull. Whoa! Gloss is dull for GW paint? Huh. That's actually, well, I mean, you know, if you want... I mean, it's supposed to be, you generally want your paint dull anyway. But as a Tau player, I want my suits to be glossy, like it's just freshly painted. I used to do tilling with terracotta to gloss seals bubbles are evil, pure evil. What? Okay, I think this leg is done. Whoop! Dunked it in the wrong spot. Dunked it in the paint instead of the varnish. Oh, and the other varnish too, I would have to add like flow aid because it's really thick. So that it will flow a little bit better. So back side, and I think this leg is done. I was thinking at one point to do just a normal matte varnish on the model, and then with the super gloss on certain areas, so that when you look at the model, there's certain areas where it will shine, like hyper gloss. But I've given up on that with the matte varnish on this particular one being essentially glossy. Look at this back end now. So I hope you remember what this guy looked like prior to me. Actually, we can kind of. If I just do his back side, I think we can look most of his front to see, hopefully. See if there is that, if we can see the difference. Boy, if only painting was this easy. No, a gloss such as optics. If you gloss to glass, it use technical medium. It's a matte, even if that flows aids can be important. Almost done with this back end here. So let's see if the front looks different. You can tell a little. Let's see. Actually, that's probably not glossed up yet. Let me see if in real life. So obviously I do see it darker, like a deep purple, versus there where there are dark purple, but it's not a deep purple. Yeah, you can kind of see it in the video right there. But it's not too much of a difference. There's a slight difference. Is it standoutish? If you look, yes. Obviously, because it's been varnished over here, and you can tell there is a bit of a difference. The darker purple areas are much darker, whereas this one is just a dark purple. But it's not quite the color change like I saw with comparing to this one to that one. It's a different. So I need to make sure that the when I do the magnets for the arm here that it stays on. So I have to redo that. Fix this arm, fix the gun, so it sticks. Like that guy. Thanks, man. I mean, it's like a stupid paint job. As in, like, you know, I thinned down the paint and just painted, and it came out this way. So it's not like it was a difficult paint job. I mean, it worked though, for sure, for sure. I ain't gonna, you know, I give myself a little bit of credit. It was essentially a wannabe slap chop method, but without contrast paints. Oops, I'm probably painting off screen or varnishing off screen. And I'll say this: the Liquitex varnish does change the Liquitex paint. It makes it deeper, if that makes any sense. Like it's a deeper purple as opposed to being just like a darker purple. And it actually, initially I didn't like it with my ultramarines because I love that blue, that very light blue. But I have to varnish my models because the paint that I use, the Liquitex paint, seems very powdery. And it feels like if you touch it enough, it will rub off. So the only way to really protect it is by doing varnish. So I end up liking the how it deepens the paint. Okay, I think he is fully varnished, if not mostly varnished at least. And mind you, you're supposed to put multiple layers of varnish, but I'm too lazy, so I only put one. And one's good enough, so. Okay. And make sure I spread out like any kind of thick areas. Even though I think it will dry fine, I just would rather ensure that there's no issues in the whenever it dries. So doesn't look too shabby. I like how I used to want a lot of yellow, and I used to have a lot of yellow on these mechs, but then I thought maybe just having mostly purple with a few yellows, it'll make the yellow really stand out because the purple is very dark in color, which I do like. I may turn these little squares right here on the thigh pad purple. I mean yellow, and I think that just adds a little bit more. It's not too much, I don't believe. So. Alright, so I guess, oh, that's, ooh. I think I'm going to super gloss this guy. So that's what we'll do. So I don't think I'll be using him too much. We'll see what super gloss does to this model, and then we can compare it to the librarian over there, which has just a matte varnish. Matter of fact, we could do half of him, and well, the backside half anyway. Let's see if there is a kind of a difference. If you can even see it on the film YouTube or Twitch or both. So just trying to do all the face and half of the backpack. All right, let's see. Let me fix the autofocus. Freaking A. There we go. So there. So you can see gloss varnish on this side, and this is just regular paint. you can see there obviously the gloss is just very shiny, but you can see the blue being a bit deeper, and then the edge highlighting, if it wasn't so reflective, you can see it makes the edge highlighting a little bit more pronounced. So, and I did half the backpack, half the body too. Jesus, dude, he's super shiny. But yes, you can see that. Let me readjust the focus now. That should be good enough. Alright, going to finish off the rest. Let's see if there is any difference in the super gloss versus the non-super gloss. I've seen some professional people, they would varnish their models per step. Not every step per se, but after they get to a certain point, they'd varnish their models to protect the paint. Which I don't typically do, but I do sometimes. Kind of like this, where I'm like kind of stuck and I don't know what to paint these guys, or paint whatever it is I need to do to finish the paint, because I'm clearly not done. It's mostly the banners, really. See if the banners we'll do half of the front. You can kind of tell a little bit. Again, a little bit darker blues in certain areas. Over here you can see dark blues too. Well, it actually looks about the same in terms of that area over there. Get it all up. Alright, well, he is varnish fully. I got a lot of dry now, and then we can do the comparison, a fair comparison. Alright. Oh boy. I think I could do Tigirish's backpack too. I do have to put a little bit of green right there, and maybe do a little bit more white over there, because that doesn't look like I've evened it out in the back. It looks fine in the picture, but you can kind of see like there's something right here. Good lord. Well, never mind, you can't really see it. But I can do the front at least. Protect the paint there, because I'm going to be touching this a lot, and I need to make sure I protect the paint. Otherwise the paint will start rubbing off. Didn't mean to do that, but that's fine. That's fine. Ah, get off. Alright. Actually, let me see. I should have my little stickers. Gotta find that real quick, so I can stick it on the banner. That's gonna be much better than me attempting to free paint it, which I might have to anyway, because I can't seem to find it. Oh boy. Well, I might have to go on eBay and look for it. Okay, anyways, so nothing I want to do. Put these guys on bases. So they're not just floating around. Hopefully these are good bases. I don't remember if these are the bad ones or not. These are not necessarily the bad ones, but the updated version ones, I'm guessing. So where is here goes one. Too big. I don't have any of this medium-sized ones. I don't have any of the medium-sized ones. The 32, I think, is what the size base they're on. I have all the custom bases that I printed. Alright, I'll be right back. I have to go to the other side of the building and grab some bases. Not really that far, but it certainly does feel like it. But you'll be coming with me, though. Alright, let's see. We're gonna put the decent bases in. Millimeter base. Alright, on my way back. Oh boy. Got some 32mm base. Have that little divot there for a magnet. A specific size magnet for that matter. Yes, 32. Perfect. Two, four. There we go. Perfect. All right. I think it's let's see what size magnets it takes. I think it's a 6x2. Or maybe bigger than that, actually. Is it by 3? Oh, man, this takes a little bit out too far. Oh, doesn't quite sit flush, but it's not big enough for that. So it fits in there perfectly, but I think it's a little small. It doesn't quite stick out as far. I made it intentionally that way because when you apply glue, it's not going to, you know, make it flat. Alright, anyways, that'll be the last thing to do. Alright, let's glue these babies on the base. Okay. Okay, so apply the accelerator only in one foot, just so that the other side could just dry naturally. I noticed that sometimes the accelerator tends to make the glue a little bit fragile. Hey, what's up, Coyote? It's going alright. Trying to get a little bit too many things done, like I'm in between a lot of things. Yep. Trying to find where he would be. There we go. Just gonna need a little bit to enough of it to dry, and the rest will dry naturally. I've been playing the heck out of the new Dark type game. They added RBTs, and I had to. I think when that first came out, I don't think it had good reviews. I don't remember, but I did want to get it and play it. Hold on, let me do this. I've been playing mostly just Helldivers and kind of stopped playing Space Marine 2 for a little bit. They didn't overhaul it, made it much better. Yeah, I've heard that too. Like they eventually did, in fact, improve upon it a lot. I think it was just lacking, I heard initially. Stealth suits. One last guy. Whew. Smell. There we go. I think it's because maybe it's a bigger model. This one was already done. These two have the newest in quotes iteration of the paint, but I can't seem to do it like the blue. The blue and the purple don't seem to react the same. So I'm gonna have to change it up a little bit in terms of how it's painted. This one turned out a lot better than I hoped in terms of how it was painted than this one. This one seems a bit thicker This one seems a bit lighter and shows a little bit more edge highlighting. So I did this one on the super gloss varnish and that one on the matte. I'm going to compare them as soon as they're at least a little bit more dry than they are now. Whew, whew, that stinks. But yeah, I'm still kind of on the fence on how to do the purple. So I tried again with this one and no real luck. Let's see what this one turned out. Yeah, not so much luck either. So you can see like really dark color right there. But yeah, I'm gonna have to put these in the blender so I can get rid of the and rebase coat it. And you can see that the different tests of purple, so different mixtures. I have a few more things I could test. These are relatively simple to clean with the jewelry cleaner in LA Totally Awesome. So I'd rather do testing on these things than say the entire model. There we go. Like how I kind of did a test on this model right here. But I'm gonna have to put them in a blender and get rid of all that paint and redo it. I don't think it's something that I can't recover from, honestly, but I might be able to do it. No, actually I won't. I might, but I won't. I will have to call it a little bit earlier because I do have a little bit early meeting at work every Thursday. So let's compare these two now. Let me adjust the focus. So we're gonna be about that close. Okay. So they both look, at least in the shoulder pads, they look about the same shininess. Yeah. So this is this is gloss and this is matte varnish. So, okay, there is a bit of a difference if you can look right above here. It's not as glossy compared to, say, like the shoulder pads there. That shoulder pad's very, very glossy. This one's just everywhere. I even did the banner. You can kind of see it looks like it's wet more than anything. And this guy. Yeah. You can see it's glossy, but not as glossy as this dude. A bit of a difference. I almost wondered if they had a mix-up in their mixture, like varnish is gloss, and then their gloss is like slightly, slightly more gloss. And they made that mistake, and it's like, oh crap, let's release ultra matte to have the real matte out there. It's like they made a mistake with their matte varnish that they had to release ultra matte to make up for it. It's like, crap, this guy is just not as matte as we hope it was. It's still glossy. Alright, so I'm still going to have to experiment a bit more with the purple. A lot of almost wasted purple there, but it's okay. The cheap purple. Got to find a way to definitely get it working. Actually, let's see this guy. I like the way this guy turned out. Let's see, look at him closely. So, he turned out, I like the way he's painted a bit better. He's super glossy. There's a bit of edge highlighting going on too with him. So it does work, but I just not sure how I got that. And this is, mind you, this is not the newest technique that I use. This is the one coat technique that I used back in the day. and it turned out really good. I mean, it turned out good, not necessarily perfect, but you've got edge highlighting going on with just one coat. For the new technique that I have is a 2-coat, a very thin layer for the edges to have that light blue, and then a second layer on the so essentially you'll have that edge highlighting right there in that leg. Essentially it's the first layer, and then all I did is I paint over the first layer with the second layer, but I don't touch the edge. Essentially that's all I do. And that's how I got the edge highlighting, especially on this model here where you can really see it. So essentially I just 1 coat very light and thin, then 2nd coat over just the bigger areas, and that's all it is. That's how you get that edge highlighting going on. Whereas this one, Tau was my first army, and it kind of got that under 1 coat. You can really see it on the back right there. You can even see it some over here. It wasn't intended to be that way. It's meant to be a solid color, but it turned out okay actually. So anyways, I got to figure out how to do the purple. And I was originally going with my Tau colors. Every base was going to have essentially this right here: the gold, the yellow, and the purple. The gold, the purple, and the yellow. But I haven't gotten to that point with these guys. I think the infantry, I even did the infantry right there. They're not done yet. I have a lot of freaking fire warriors. Alright, anyways, I do have to pause you right here. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I do try to stream Monday to Friday around 4 to 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Try to stream for at least an hour. So anyways, if you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up the sound below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.